All right, welcome to season 5, episode 13, Meadow stream. Back to a more usual things with Mario Paint. A more typical Mario Paint painting, if you may. Yo, Perp, how are you today? You have to ask Bobby if he's still on. Last I heard from him that he said he was gonna show up on, or he has his car going in for repairs tomorrow, apparently. And then I guess he'll just show up. Is the plan. But I guess you can inquire with him again if you would desire. Are y'all gonna stream one of those nights? Probably. Maybe. Unless. Damn, I don't know if it's just like the camera, but like the right side in the background of this painting, it's just like completely white. Like it's very blown out, but I don't know if that's actually how he painted it or if it's just like the camera making it look that way. I'm not too sure. What you do need to do, Prac, is bother Random to show up on Friday, since Random always out here showing up on the Saturday. Like, no, we need him on Friday to get extra litty. I wonder if Blue Bob will show up on the Friday. He already did. He said he will see. Does he even know that Blue Bob's showing up, though? Does he even know? Does he know that David's gonna bring Camel up and we're gonna get lit on Camel up? Yeah, blown out like, you know. You know how it is. You know how it be. You already know. If it helps, I went for a like 15-minute walk today. Nothing too crazy, but I'm glad I've been going out for walks with some regularity to it. So makes me feel good to do that. Alright, Ebo. Morning. One big Ebo. We heckin' love walking, especially when it's by the lake with the boys in Oklahoma. That was a good little walk. It was like, I guess, raining earlier today before I got up, and then when I went for the walk, it was thankfully not raining. A couple of raindrops dropped, I guess, when I was on my walk, and I thought it was gonna downpour, and then it didn't. But then, like, sometime after I got in, like a half hour later, it started like raining a shit ton. So I was glad to have not been caught out in the rain. Round 2, yeah. It thunderstormed from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Damn. And how is it now for you, G? Is it just like, is it chill? Is it thundery still? Gray but chill. Yeah, it's kind of gray out here too. Maybe we live in the same place, actually. Maybe we live in the same place, low-key. How's my frog pose doing? It's doing good. I did it last night. How's everyone else's frog pose doing? Curious. You forgot? Oh my god, not frog-gotting. Oh no. This is so sad. Well, you better get up and do it right now, G. Yeah, I've still been frog posing. That shit be hitting good. That shit be hitting good. These clouds are very white. These clouds are very white. I mean, hey, what can you do? Also, we have a cabin alert on this painting. I repeat, we have a cabin alert. Nobody panic. See, last painting, we had a very different Bob Ross painting, but today we get normal things and we get a cabin. It's just getting crazy. They really welcomed us back with loving arms. They're like, welcome back to normal, expected Bob Ross activities. An actual Bob Ross painting. Not painted by a guest. Morning owl. Yeah, I'd say I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? Things are going well. I suppose. I suppose. Not Bob Ross, but I actually have two digital illustrations I could actually post at any point. So I guess keep a lookout for that whenever I post that. Post those. And Skittle, Party Frog. Hey. Oh, that one's got a little hook to it at the top. Feels good. Skittle Froggy instead of Skittle Kirby. Skittle getting a little froggy out here. That's a definite. The train for Station Square will be departing soon. Make sure you make it. I need like a lighter green. I don't have a lighter green, so I guess we're just using yellow. Can't wait to quit your job. Are you planning on quitting soon, Ebo? Or is that just for like a down the road thing when you eventually quit your job someday? Okay, check it, check it. Yeah, I like that. Dude, who wants to chiropractor my neck right now? I'm just curious. Like okay, 3, 2, insert your whole body just cracking and exploding from them fucking actually breaking your neck. Who's trying to do that to me real quick? Just like, you know, real quick. All right, deep breath. On God, though. It actually be like that. Let's crack my my knuckles or my fingers. I don't know if that went through or not. Let's see, back crack check. A little one, little one. Nothing that side. Yeah, that was not very good. That was like a solid like 2 back crack. 2 out of 10 back crack. That was nothing special. So Prac, how high did you get yesterday for the 20th day of the 4th month of the year? Curious. Did anybody here participate in the 420? Curious. You were not high? What do you mean you weren't high, G? What does that even mean that you weren't high? If you weren't high, then what were you? You did get drunk last night, though? Oh, damn. Partying. That's gonna be me Friday and Saturday. Getting gibbled. You woke up, took a shower, a D-blade, then you re-D-blade every 3 hours? Bruh. Oh my god. Also, damn Skittle, that looks like that sounds like a situation from the thing you posted. Okay, Mario Brush time. Mario Brush. What's everyone's favorite Mario paintbrush? Curious. I guess I'd have to say the airbrush, like this brush is probably like the most OP brush, just generally speaking. But tell me the sound isn't just so good on this brush. It's so nice. You had a rat smoke. Anybody else rat smoking? It's realistic. Wait, let's just cover this up. Okay, cabin incoming in the next like couple of minutes. Next couple of minutes, we're gonna begin that cabin. So I hope your eyes are peeled and your heart is ready for a cabin. The paint bucket tool is pretty hype. That is a good one. You're right, you're right. Okay, you might be thinking, Butter, what the fuck are you doing with this black? Don't worry. It's all part of the plan. This is planned. You following along? Look at that. Oh, so what's this game that y'all are posting about in the games channel? Is that like it's like a Bethesda post and it just says IV, aka 4? Is that like I don't know. I don't know what game that is. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake. Oh. I feel like when I hear people talk about Oblivion, I feel like people are sometimes like, yeah, like this is more hype than Skyrim. Like I feel like I hear people really hype up Oblivion sometimes. Skyrim fucking sucks. Does everybody else agree with that? What are our thoughts on Skyrim sucking? I know Skyrim has like insane amounts of mods for it. Do you think Skyrim is carried by the mods? I've never played either. I own Skyrim, so I think basically everybody owns Skyrim, let's be real. If I own Skyrim, then that's a thing. That's definitely a thing if I own Skyrim. Oblivion is sick except for the leveling system. Skyrim has a better leveling system. Oh shit. Oh shit. All Elder Scrolls games are carried by the mods. Modding definitely does add a lot of like extra life into a game. That's for sure. I guess, well, especially if you've like played the game before. Especially if you've played the game before, then it's like, okay. Okay. Skyrim is the only Elder Scrolls you've played. Well, I haven't played any of them. Oblivion's leveling system works if you know how to use it properly, but too many people level up suboptimally, then the level scaling ends up fucking them. Does it just like not explain how to use it properly, or is it just like really like not intuitive? Like I don't know if this is just me, but I definitely remember this being a thing in Kingdom Hearts 2. At least it's probably a thing in 1 also, but like how it's a thing where like there are enemies that's like, oh, this enemy does like ice damage, this enemy does shadow damage, and there's like 8 of those or something. There's like 8 different like damage typings or something. But it's like, as a casual, like how the fuck are you supposed to know like just like all that shit? I don't think there's ever a way to like know that stuff. At least that was my experience, I remember. It's like, how the fuck am I supposed to know this? Like, unless I just look up like what like this boss like does or something, or like what it's like damage values or damage type is, I guess. You know, thinking about Kingdom Hearts, there's also like, I forget if 2 does this, but I know 1 does this, where it's like, there's like 3 NPCs you talk to at like the start of the game that are from like, I think of some Final Fantasy game. and they ask you like, they each ask you like some like question that has 3 answers for each of them, and I forget exactly what they all mean, but it's like low key. It dictates something like how much experience you get like early on in something something. It's like, oh, if you say this answer to this to that guy, like you'll get more like you'll level up like faster early on or something like that. I forget exactly. Just stuff I've heard from watching speedruns over time. And the one guy who I watched do speedruns hasn't existed in like a year. He's doing his yearly vanishing for a year from Twitch thing again. So unfortunately, he just like vanishes randomly for like a long ass time. And it's like, damn, but I like watching your stream. And you stream at night, so it's good for me. And sometimes there'll be just nobody on that I care to watch, unfortunately. Older RPG games fall into this game design where they expect you to research things before you make decisions, and the older you get, the more pen and paper they feel. Especially like for older games where it's like, you know, like you would have to either like hope it tells you in the manual, like if you're, you know, playing like X whatever older RPG back in like the 90s or early 2000s, back, you know, before having internet was common for people, like it'd be either have like a strategy guide or hope the manual like gives you insight. It's a bit convoluted, but I dislike that games these days are afraid of making you choose a build. I can understand that vibe. See, I do think that's one thing that's fun about you know, if you were to, you know, casually play like Paper Mario or like Bug Fables, how it's like with just how badges work in that game is like there's so many like possibilities for like what kind of like strats you could do. This is where I talk about how like in Paper Mario bingos that I used to do back in the day. I remember like one of the strats I used to always do if one of the goals I had was to fight the master in the dojo, I used to always like I would usually level up Goombario if I had the fuck is the Ultra Stone, the thing that lets you Ultra rank your partners, Ultra rank Goombario, and then stack stone caps on Mario, so I can just have Goombario dummy on him. Or sometimes use Chill Out, because Chill Out's low-key OPAF in that game, in my opinion. Morning Cloud. Faster level from 1 to 50, fast level from 50 to 100, or an even rate. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot what the sword, staff, or shield. I forgot what the more iconic thing. Yeah, which I feel like most people probably chose the sword. But magic was low-key kind of broken in Kingdom Hearts 1, with just how like it worked. At least thinking about Cure was definitely broken as fuck in Kingdom Hearts 1, because you could just keep using it, whereas in Kingdom Hearts 2, they made it so Cure like uses like your entire MP bar, which is definitely more balanced. Because goddamn, you could just keep using Cure in the first game. Speaking of Cure, it's time for a cabin. We're putting the cabin in. I don't want to block it in. What do I want to block it in with? We'll just use this dark gray. Everyone's attention to the front of the room, please. We are putting a cabin in. Paper Mario Dojo is hype, yeah. A completely optional part of the game. But it's pretty cool. I think it sucks like having like the diploma, like it doesn't do anything. Like I think it'd be super cool if like having the diploma, which is like beating the final form of the master, aka like beating like the entire dojo. I think it would have been cool if they made it so like if it gave you like a power, like some kind of stat up or something. I always thought that would have been neat because it just doesn't do anything other than to be like, hey, look, you have this. Equipping all the attack badges and Pape thing, but use them all in battle. Just all the different like types of attacks. I don't think it became useful. I forget what it exactly was, but it became found like some years back, like in 2019 or something. I think that hammer throw, I think on the moles in flower fields, was like it like didn't work properly. Like it did more damage than it was supposed to. I think for some reason on the moles in particular, it was something like that. Hammer throw low-key a pretty hype badge. I think hammer throw is pretty cool. Which I forget, it's either like it's some version of Paper Mario 64 or it's like TTYD where like it just straight up like hammer throw is like doesn't work properly, like just in general. Like I feel like I've heard something like that. I'm not too sure what exactly though. That I don't know. I'll say I think it's interesting how like at least like in the runs that I would watch for Kingdom Hearts 1, I remember like the strat like for some categories would be to use this one, I forget which Keyblade it is, but there's like one Keyblade that would just give you like a shit ton of extra MP. It was probably level 1 or something, I think. Probably a level 1 category. Like, yeah, we use this Keyblade just because you get like a fuck ton of MP from it. Yeah. Crazy how in runs they'll like just use stop to like just make a boss never be able to interact with you once. It's crazy. I wonder like for casuals, I wonder how good like stop is, just like for your average person playing one. I forget what was Magnet in 2 question mark? I don't remember Magnet for some reason. Reflect though, Reflect was pretty crazy. You definitely felt really cool using Reflect. I definitely liked using, at least I liked using Arrow, I think is what it was, like the kind of like little like wind looking shield thingy that gave you, I think, just like a little bit of like extra defense. I was a fan of that one in my playthrough. Let me look up oh, Kingdom Hearts. A game series that has some good games. It's like Star Fox, like how Star Fox has some good games. I feel like you could be thinking about Star Fox and Kingdom Hearts in similar ways, where it's like with Kingdom Hearts, it's like, damn, why didn't they just keep doing games like 1 and 2? Like, why they make so many of these goddamn mobile games? Which I still don't know why the fuck they made so many fucking mobile games for Kingdom Hearts. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like with Star Fox, it's like, I don't know. I don't know why with Star Fox, why they didn't just expand on the ideas of 64, but like do like different things, but kind of like, you know, like don't just keep fucking remaking the same goddamn games. That's what like half the Star Fox games are. It's like, okay, we have reimagined 64 for the 20th time. Because apparently Star Fox 64 is like a remake of the Super Nintendo like original Star Fox, and then there's Star Fox 64 3D, and then there's Zero, which is a reimagining of 64. It's like, bruh. Which we all know how Zero turned out, unfortunately. We don't know how that game went. Yeah, it's whack that like there's actually like important lore in these like mobile games for Kingdom Hearts. Like how literally going from like it makes actually no sense of why they did it like this. How like going from, if you played Kingdom Hearts 1 and then you play Kingdom Hearts 2, like the story just doesn't connect properly. There's like a huge missing gap. And it's like you have to play Chain of Memories, I think, to get like the link between 1 and 2. But it's like, I don't know, I think if you play 1 and then play 2, it should properly chain together, not like, oops, you have to play this other game that isn't 1 and 2 to get the story of 2. To get what the hell is happening. To get why you're playing as Roxas for like 3 hours. At least if they gave you like a little like movie, like just like a little cutscene at the start of 2 to like fill you in, at least that would have been okay. I could have accepted that, but they don't give you anything. Straight up fuck all. They don't give you a damn clue. Oh yeah, Command. Yeah, Command has like 9 different endings or something, I think. I've never played Command, but I also only hear bad things about Command, so I don't feel very inclined to play it ever. I've played 64 Adventures. I don't think I've ever played Assault, even though people say Assault's pretty good. I also never finished Adventures. Whoops, maybe someday. Maybe I'll like restart. Well, at this point, I'd probably restart my playthrough. I don't even know if I have my save data for that still at this point in time. And then I played Zero. And I've played the original, and I've played Star Fox 2. Which I was actually enjoying Star Fox 2 for what it was. It was like the first time I was at Skittles, I think I was playing Star Fox 2. Yeah, when I started playing Kingdom Hearts, I was like, I am not gonna fully try and understand what the hell is happening in this game. I am just gonna play the game. Because I was like, I know the lore is just fucked in this game. So I'm just gonna play the game and have a good time and not worry about that aspect of it. Also, True G, maybe that's the Bethesda news tomorrow, Kingdom Hearts 4. Which, shoutouts to how it's been like 3 years, I think, since they announced Kingdom Hearts 4, but like there hasn't been like nothing. There's been like nothing shown for it. Which, I don't know. How do y'all feel like when companies show off a game, but there's like basically nothing to see? Like, would you rather that they just like didn't show it at all? Question mark. Like, especially in the case like let's say Kingdom Hearts 4, where it's like they showed the game off, but like there was also basically, well, it was like, it wasn't even showing the game off, it was just like a teaser, the fact of like, hey, we're making this, by the way. I don't know, I guess I've never really had that happen personally. But I could definitely understand why some people would be annoyed with like, hey, we show off this game, oops, by the way, you're not gonna actually see any gameplay for like 5 years. Because I know like there's been like some directs, I think, where like Nintendo's showing off a new game, and then it's like, yeah, by the way, this is coming out like today. I think that's what happened with the Metroid Prime remake, right? Like the Metroid Prime HD, whatever it's called. Like, then they showed it off, and then it was like, yeah, by the way, you can download this like right now. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Rather just didn't show it at all, for real. You enjoyed Assault for what it was, but again, they just needed to flesh out their ideas more. Yeah, it's like with Star Fox. It's like whenever like they do something, it's like they don't like it's like they could go way harder than what they do, in my opinion. I feel like that, I don't know, I'll always say that Star Fox is just a series that has potential for them to do some crazy shit, and they just don't. They just play it like way too safe. It's been 7 years since they announced Elder Scrolls 6, bruh. And like, I guess like I get stuff like Metroid Prime 4. Like I know like they like restarted development at some point, which I assume was, I would hope was not their initial plan. Yeah, we're gonna plan for development to get restarted. Like I don't know if like the direction just wasn't going like where they wanted to. So I guess like stuff like that can happen. Like unexpected delays. Like I can get that. But like, don't mind teaser trailers anymore. I see it as a way for me to know what's being worked on. That's also valid. It's still crazy that like for some like the only thing like recent times that I've been like waiting for was Rivals 2. And it's kind of like weird thinking about how like there was a point in time where I was like, damn, like I have to wait like a year until like we can play like the beta for this. Like now it's just here to and we can play it, which is kind of crazy. And I was thinking like the other night, I was like, damn, they're back to playing the first game. Like the first game was pretty hype. Yeah, definitely a patience teaser. You got that right. Or a patience tester. I said teaser. You are so right with that one. Yeah, so I guess that's to my benefit, I guess, that I don't like super like anticipate new games ever. I'm just out here just playing old shit. Which is maybe better in some ways. It's good in the sense of how fucking expensive games are these days. Like, goddamn. Games be expensive these days. I always remember the only reason I think I didn't buy Dragon Ball Fighters when that was a new game was because it was like 100 Canadian back in like 2017 or 2018. And I was like, I don't think this is worth me spending like $100 on this game. And I know, like, if you look at articles or like flyers from like the 90s for like Super Nintendo games, where it's like, yep, buy Donkey Kong Country 2 for like 80 bucks back in like 1991 or something. Like, it's like, damn, like games of like high key, like in some ways avoided like all the inflation that a lot of things get. Because like in terms of like the flat out like face value of a game, it's like it hasn't really changed too much over time. But it's still like $100 for something like for a game that's like a lot. Like it's like for that, for me, like it has to be a game that I would have to like be super wanting it, like. Which doesn't happen very frequently. Any games you're really hyped about but ended up being disappointed with? I remember I wasn't like super hyped for it, but I remember like way back with Mighty Number 9. I actually never played it, but everybody said it was bad, so I never played it. I think I remember like way back in that era, Best Buy had like some kind of promo that was like pre-order like 4 games or something and get like, you know, like X discount or whatever. So I pre-ordered like 4 games or whatever back then. I guess I can actually say Star Fox Zero I was pretty hyped for, then it was an insane disappointment. That was my game I was hyped for, then became massively disappointed. Because it was like, oh shit, new Star Fox for the first time in like who knows how long. And then they like super fucked it. They did not do very good with that game, unfortunately. For going back to Star Fox again. Guess I'm just waiting for the last part of FF7 Remake, probably not happening for like 4 years. Yeah, it's like, it's gonna be like 15 years or something by the time like that game is fully complete, probably. Like when FF7 Remake is finally done, it's gonna be like, okay, now you can buy like the complete edition where it's actually a whole game. Which I know, like, if you play like part 1, it's like, yeah, it is like the length of a like full game experience, but it's like, goddamn, like you know there's way more content that you're waiting for. And I guess another game, like, I wasn't waiting for this or anything, but I remember when I played Mario 3D World, I was very disappointed by it. I think just because, like, I was wanting a 3D Mario, and I don't consider Mario 3D World a 3D Mario. It's, like, not in my book. I was, like, massively disappointed at the time, which I think is why I didn't really, like, I barely played it, because I had that expectation. So maybe if I had not had that expectation, I would have enjoyed it more. Because I know a lot of people like Mario 3D World. A lot of people really like that game actually, but I did not. Isometric Mario, yeah. I think it's great. I played 3D Land, so that set your expectation. I never owned a 3DS, so definitely many 3DS games I've never played. Which actually, think about 3DS. Apparently, when they were doing Star Fox 64 3D, apparently they were originally gonna do an original Star Fox game, but then for some reason it became a 64 remake instead. I forget why, but I've read that that's a thing apparently that happened. And then it's like, I also know there was supposed to be a Star Fox game on the Wii, and that also just like never happened. Like, I totally could have seen Nintendo like making some kind of like attachment that like you like stick like your Wii remote in, so it's like, you know, it's like a like a like a flight joystick thingy. I totally could have seen them doing something like that if that ever happened. 3DS was dope. It also has your biggest disappointments like MM3D and Sticker Star. Oh yeah, the classic Sticker Star. Which is even more of a kick to the face because apparently when they first showed off Sticker Star, it apparently was like more akin to like what people want from Paper Mario, and then apparently like Miyamoto fucked up and was like, nope, we need to do this instead. I forget if it's Sticker Star or if it's Color Splash or if it's both, but how it's like the balancing for those games is apparently like if you don't use the one item that is supposed to like basically one-shot the boss, like it becomes like insanely difficult to fight otherwise. It's like, oh, there's this item that like makes the boss super easy, but if you don't use this one item, then the boss is like insanely hard to beat otherwise, or like straight up impossible to beat the boss if you don't have X item. I've never played either, but that's what I remember for one or both those games. Somebody mentioning was a thing, and it's like awesome. I love the concept of creative builds and like different strategies just getting thrown out the window in favor of use item to one-shot boss. 3DS Fire Emblem games too. The fan base is quite divided on those games. I don't know a damn thing about those. But another thing I've heard about Sticker Star from people who have like tried playing it in like recent times, I've definitely heard some people say that it's just like less of the fact that like it's a bad game and more of the fact that it's just like really boring, apparently. That it's just like very uninteresting and bland. That I can't comment on. But it also wouldn't surprise me if that's for real. And I've never played MM3D. But that is definitely a game that exists. I can say that MM3D did some things that are good. Like they made it so you can play Ocarina underwater as Zora, which feels like should have just been in the original game, but I assume it's just an oversight or they just didn't consider it. And the fact that Song of Double Time lets you advance to like a specific hour that you want to, like I think that's just like convenient. I think that's just a good change instead of like, okay, I have to stand here for like 10 real minutes and wait for it to hit X in game time. Like I think being able to just advance ahead. Like you can't go back in time. Well, you obviously Song of Time, but you can't just like reverse like, oh, let me go back an hour because I missed this thing. Like you still have to like hit your in-game time events, but it cuts down on like the just waiting if you're waiting for an in-game time event. Which I think for like a casual perspective is definitely just like objectively better. In my opinion for MM3D. But I know I hate that they did for like every boss where it's like we put a giant eyeball on every boss except for Majora because I don't think they touch Majora, but all the other bosses they're like we put a giant eyeball on it to indicate where its weak point is, and it just like looks like so goofy. Just like looks weird. Like I don't understand what they were thinking with that one. They definitely did not cook with that idea. And I think part of it might be because I think MM3D was Anuma's first Zelda game he directed, I think. I'm pretty sure he thinks like pretty harshly of MM3D, or of just Majora's Mask in general. Which I'm sure, yeah, there's probably like a lot of things that they like wanted to do in the original game that they couldn't. Because time restraints, but I don't know. People like the game for a reason. But you know, I can definitely relate to being very like critical of your own work, even if like a lot of people are like, no, this is great. It's very easy and very difficult to get past that fact. Regardless, like even if you hear so much praise for something, it's easy to be in your own head of like, no, this is so garbage. Like I did such a terrible job on this. I get it. I get it. I understand the feeling. Oh yeah, Zoro Swimming was a horrible change for 3DS. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. I like how there are multiple ways to take on bosses in MM, but the eyeballs totally ruin that. Yeah, I've heard that's like a big thing with Adawa, apparently. How it's like apparently in 3D you have to fight him one specific way, but in original there was like a couple different ways you can go about fighting him. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking when they were like, yes, let's make it so Zora swimming uses magic if you want to swim at all quickly. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. Like, if you get Chateau, it becomes not an issue, but it's like, it wasn't an issue to begin with, so I don't know why they made it an issue. Maybe they wanted, like, more incentive for Chateau to be a thing. Or, like, more incentive to get the double magic meter, maybe. Which is really weird because I'm pretty sure in like Ocarina of Time 3D, I'm pretty sure that's a relatively faithful remake to the original with probably some changes, I think. But like MM3D is definitely like a lot more switched up. Yeah, didn't they bring a lot of the Fire Emblem games over to North America because that game was successful? So it wasn't like a lot of the other games like Japanese only at the time. I'm gonna take a sip of water. That's a good idea. I'm definitely not like too familiar with all of the MM3D changes because yeah, I've never played it. Which I said I never owned a 3DS, but I almost got a 3DS for the MM3D bundle, like with the special MM3DS, because I was like, damn, that's a pretty cool looking console, and that alone made me almost get it, and then I didn't. I just didn't get it. I think I was like, I don't know if I'd really play this thing much. And then I just opted to not get it, and like maybe I made the right choice. Maybe I made the correct play by not getting the 3DS, but I know the 3DS was kind of like Nintendo's like saving grace during like the Wii U times, since, you know, the Wii U was definitely a thing. I think it's crazy that some people are like, the Switch 2 is gonna be another Wii U situation. I'm like, what? Literally, the Wii U was marketed horribly, had a confusing name, never showed the console at all in pre-release stuff, and it released with like no games. Like they're already like not doing any of those on the Switch 2, so I don't know what some people are on. I think some people are just hating for the sake of hating. Some people are just very whack. I don't think they localized more games as a response, like they made a remake of an older game for the 3DS. The only other stuff I can think of are the games that are on the Switch, SNES, and Game Boy thingy. Oh, I guess the Switch, yeah. Online virtual console. Damn, I just remembered how there's that game. It's a game called Starlink. And the only relevance I remember that game having was that the Nintendo Switch version had Star Fox content in it. I think nobody really cared about the other versions at all, but which I actually own the Switch version, and I've never played it. I remember I was gifted it years ago for Christmas, and I've never played it. So, oops. So it's the only physical Switch game I own. But I don't know if the Star Fox content is even any good in it. I think it's just kind of more like, oh shit, that franchise has been acknowledged. Feels good. Might be a case like that, or it's just acknowledgement pog. Getting close to be done with this painting. We just hit the hour mark on it, so I'm probably good to wrap this up, honestly. So I hope you enjoyed this painting. Yeah, thanks for watching.